What do you get when a Japanese car maker tries to sneak around a weird tariff on foreign pickup trucks? Well, you get one of the strangest little car truck hybrids that's ever been produced. In the late 1970s, Subaru was eager to get into the market for light trucks. They were becoming extremely popular in America and in Australia, and it seemed like there was an opening to gain a new foothold in foreign markets. So they chopped the back roof off one of their Leon station wagons and turned it into an El Camino style ute. The problem was America's weird quote-unquote chicken tax that hit a variety of imports, including light trucks with a 25% tariff. So Subaru decided to try and run around the tax man by welding two seats into the cargo bed and calling it a passenger car, not a light truck. And it was just barely confusing enough that regulators looked at the car stumped and agreed. This bizarre utility vehicle was called the BRAT. Now, the BRAT moniker isn't actually about being small and whiny. Whether they came up with the acronym before or after the name is something that we'll never know. But Subaru claimed that BRAT stood for Bi-Drive Recreational All-Terrain Transporter. But when faced with that bizarre mouthful, most people didn't say the full name, and BRAT just made a lot more sense. So what was the BRAT like? Well, unlike a lot of shots in the dark in the time when it came to automakers, the BRAT was actually a surprisingly competent little car that basically everyone who got their hands on one seemed to like. Of all the reviews I looked at, they were pretty positive, even the ones that had been written when the car was new. The BRAT had a very short wheelbase, just under 97 inches, and from the front quarter view it looked a lot like a Japanese notchback coupe at first glance. It had a fairly sedated front end with a squared off design with just an ever so slight peak in the hood. A few mild lines stretched from front to the back, providing a bit of style to it. Now, the first generation Brats from 78 to 81 had two pairs of round headlights, and they looked very German inspired. You could even get them with optional T-tops or target tops in some model years, which made this confused little truck just super out there. But from the front, it looked normal. The thing is, as soon as you got around the back towards the bed sides, you would see the uncovered cargo bed and the rear-facing plastic seats. Then you'd see the almost comical side handles on those rear seats. And then if you stared a little bit longer, you would realize the car had almost 9 inches of ground clearance. Now suddenly, as you start to piece all this together, the car looks less like a basic European sedan and more like something entirely different. Whatever quirkiness and flaws the Subaru BRAT had, one thing that nobody contested in period or now was that it was an incredible car for inclement weather. And even light to medium off-roading, it was fairly competent. It was not a speed demon by any means, but it had the power and drivetrain to obey one of the most basic rules of off-roading, and that was to keep moving until you're on solid ground. So what was under the hood of the Subaru BRAT besides the spare tire? And yes, I'm not joking, they also decided to store the spare tire there for some odd reason. Well, the first engine in the BRAT from 1978 to 1980 was a 1.6 liter H4. Think of it like a Beetle engine except a water-cooled version. That engine made 65 horsepower at 5,200 RPM and 80 foot-pounds of torque at 2,400 RPM. That engine preferentially drove the front wheels, but also had a transfer case leading to a traditional drive shaft to power the rear wheels. A 4-speed manual transmission gave the driver control they needed to best apply that power and torque to the road in a myriad of conditions. It was not fast, but it was solid and had enough oomph to keep itself going through sand, snow, and even a little water. Car and Driver tested a 78 BRAT off-road, and Terry Cook, the journalist, was surprised at how well it handled. The preferential front-wheel drive bias for the car kept it stable in low traction conditions, while the full four-wheel drive system made it very difficult to get stuck. In 1981, Subaru bumped the displacement of the car to 1.8 liters, which brought the power up to 71 horsepower at 4,400 RPM and 94 foot-pounds of torque at 2,400 RPM. An optional dual-range transfer case was added for the GL variant, while the DL, which was the base version, kept the single-range transfer case. The few extra horsepower made it so the BRAT could do 0 to 60 in about 14.3 seconds and run the quarter mile in under 20 seconds, which somehow still made it faster than the Iron Duke 4-powered Camaros. A lot of these 4x4 car truck hybrids were a bit unruly when they got to asphalt. The Brat didn't have that problem. It was surprisingly nimble with its front strut suspension and its live rear axle. In 1982, Larry Griffin wrote, "The Brat's steering is great, its suspension is a thing of joy, and its road manners are unassailably masterful." It got high praise from the whole car and driver team. It also got a major refresh in 1982, switching out the round headlights for rectangular ones. The front two seats got a little bit roomier as well. In 1983 and 1984, Subaru tried to punch things up another notch with a turbocharged version of their 1.8-liter motor. That one made 95 horsepower and 123 foot-pounds of torque, but that was offered with a 3-speed automatic instead of the 4-speed manual. And it got a single-range push-button 4-wheel drive instead of a double-range one. The Turbo Brat was extremely popular in Australia, where the Brat was called the Brumby. These turbo ones, however, are extremely rare in the American market. The Brat's got an unremarkable set of front disc brakes and rear drums with relatively small P185 70-section tires. However, the Brat was under 2,300 pounds, so it didn't need a lot of braking or big tires to get around. One weird extra development was that Subaru decided to get rid of the rear seats after the 1985 model year as standard, and the tax that existed that caused them to put seats there in the first place wasn't repealed. I don't know if the regulators decided to call it a light truck with or without the seats or what happened, but it seems for the last 2 years the Brat did not have them standard, which made them even rarer in those last couple years of production. The Brat was sold in America until the 1987 model year, but it soldiered on in other markets until the end of 1994. However, it was never sold in Japan, its home country of origin, which is odd. The Brat was so unique it even got some appearance in media. A 1985 Brat appeared in the My Name is Earl TV show, and one showed up in Napoleon Dynamite. But perhaps the most notable Subaru Brat owner was President Ronald Reagan. He famously enjoyed small but rugged cars, and alongside his M31A1 Army Jeep, he had a 78 Brat while he was running for president in 1980. Now, the rumor is that he transferred the title of the Brat to an employee of his as he was running, so his opponents couldn't attack him for owning a foreign car. He held on to the Brat until 1998 when he donated it to charity. Then, a few years later in 2004, he passed away, and his Brat was found, restored, and returned to the Reagan Ranch where it remains to this day. All told, about 100,000 Subaru Brats were sold in America from 1978 to 1987, and the car has maintained a strong but small following since. There aren't a ton of these left now, but there is a huge variation in prices for Subaru Brats. You can find them as low as a few grand, up to like $50,000 for the nicest one out there. And surprisingly, there isn't much of a price premium on the 1.8-liter naturally aspirated motors over the smaller displacement ones, but the turbo versions do have a little bit of a price premium to them. At the end of the day, the average Subaru Brat buyer isn't looking to race it, except with one notable exception. Hoonigan put together an insane Subaru Brat for Gymkhana with a 2-liter turbocharged inline-4 that made 670 horsepower. Something like 10 times the power of the original Brat, and with 680 foot-pounds of torque. And it was called the Brataroo 9500 Turbo. And that 9500 comes from the red line on that crazy engine swap. And this highly modified 78 Gymkhana Brat is generally driven by Travis Pastrana. Now, Subaru tried to revive the Brat about 15 years after they stopped selling the original with the Baja. The Baja was a 4-door short cargo bed truck that they built for the model years in 03 through 06. Now, the Baja does have its own small following, but it's not the same because the rear seats are inside the cabin. The Subaru Brat is an oddity of a car. And unlike most cars that try to do multiple things, the Brat was actually pretty competent in all things it did. It wasn't a performance car, but it was a solid daily driver, it was good in inclement weather, and if you took the back seats out of it, you could actually store some stuff in there and putt around pretty easily. It would make a nice ranch or farm vehicle if you didn't have to put a bunch of weight in the bed. And that's why I think it was worth making a video on it. Now let me know in the comments down below if you ever driven a Subaru Brat, or if you ever owned one, or knew someone that did. I would just love to hear some in-period stories about it from you all in the comments. Otherwise though, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. It really helps me out. And otherwise, I will see you all in the next one, enthusiasts.